your hand up for this challenge. Forgiveness is definitely not a subject that people even want to talk about, and I realized that when I started doing my videos and promoting this challenge out there, there was so many people that you know, kind of DM me, but you could feel that they were not sure. They didn't want to, you know, obviously say on the comments that they want to take part of this challenge. But I just want to make sure that everything is working here. Sorry guys about this. I just want to, it looks like it's thinking, but I'm not sure that if the video has stopped or if everything is working. Okay. Sure, they didn't want to. Okay, cool. So it looks like that my video is the video is still working and the microphone is still working. So back to forgiveness, there were so many people that I could see that I even spoke to somebody in person that mentioned to me that they want to forgive, and even though I sent them the link, they still felt hesitant about joining the group. So I am incredibly proud of you for being here, and I really believe that you have taken a massive step towards healing yourself. Forgiveness is a process, and I want you to really take this week. We're going to be spending 5 days together and look at forgiveness as a transformational process. It's something that we are going to go through together. We're going to feel together. We're going to take part together. It's not going to be only about listening to me or sitting at home, you know, taking in the information. I want you to really feel it in your body, to really, you know, like I said, you know, write notes, you know, just really be present and take part of all of the exercises that we're going to run through together. You know, we're going to go through some meditation exercises, and we're going to go through some breathing exercises as well to help us release all of the emotions that will be coming up, you know, and emotions will be coming up this week, you know, sadness, anger, frustration, or whatever they come up, you know, and I want you to understand that it's normal, you know. Part of forgiving and putting your hand up to say, yes, I do want to forgive, it is really allowing those emotions to come up, to really allow ourselves to even feel these emotions. I know for myself that I spent years and years and years trying to suppress this emotion, trying to push that down until I physically couldn't do anymore. I can see that there is people live. I just want to make sure that if you can give me a thumbs up that you can see me and can hear me, that would be awesome. So I know I'm kind of, everything is working here. So I want you to congratulate yourself, you know, for being here, for making this decision to forgive. You know, you should be really, really incredibly proud of yourself, you know. And as you guys know, I've asked you guys to be doing some exercises already. You know, it was about, you know, getting pen and paper and writing down, or who do you want to forgive. You know, some people said that they needed to forgive somebody, some people said that they needed to forgive themselves, and some people said that they needed to forgive a situation, you know. So if you haven't written that down, I hope you have brought pen and paper and you can write that down now. You know, write it down. I want to forgive, you know, myself. And it could be that you even go more specific than that. You know, I want to forgive my 21-year-old self. I want to forgive you know, myself in this particular situation. I want to forgive myself You know, in this year, you know, what happened in this year. I want to forgive myself after this happened in my life, you know, or I want to forgive, you know, my mom, my dad, my brother, my friend, you know, my son, my daughter, you know, whoever you want to forgive. Write this down. You know, there is massive power in writing things down. You know, in my healing journey, I started writing things down. You know, I have all my little journals or diaries, whatever you want to call it, that I would write things randomly. It wasn't in an order. They were like old notebooks that I have. You don't have to go and buy a new notebook. There is power in writing things down, because I believe that once you're writing things down, you know, you're proclaiming to the universe, to life, to God, to whatever you believe, that you have made a decision, that you need to be supported in that decision, and whatever you believe will support you through this decision. Hi, Mali, thank you so much for waving and for letting me know that you can hear. That's awesome. Thank you so much. One day I'm going to be doing this challenge in Portuguese, and you're going to help me to promote this. So thank you for being here, even though English is not your mother tongue language or mine. But thank you so much for being here. So if you haven't written them down, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to write this down. You know, I want to forgive, you know, and you complete the sentence. You know, myself, my mom, my dad, my brother, my neighbor, my friend, or whatever, or a situation, or whatever you are here to forgive. So just write things down. And I also hope that you wrote it down. Hi, Steve. Hi. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So write things down, and I want you to write exactly what you're angry about, what you're holding on to. You know, when I started really going through and being very thorough about what I needed to forgive, I started writing things down, and I realized that I got my issue down onto 5 bullet points. 5 bullet points. So all of the anger, all of the resentment was down to 5 bullet points. And I'm not saying they were not important, and I'm not saying that you need to have 10, you know, to be worthy of forgiving, or it's not about the quantity. It's about clarifying, giving the focus that forgiveness needs. You know, you're just really getting all of that mess in your head going, okay, you know, sometimes we think like, oh, there was so much, you know, I have to forgive something that it's so big that I can't handle. I can't even think about it. I can't deal with it. But once you start writing things down, there is massive power, because all of a sudden everything becomes very clear in your mind, very clear in exactly what you want to forgive. You know, you've got that in front of you. You know, it's not messy anymore. There is no excuse. There is no like this thing that you can't handle anymore. You can handle now, because it's right in front of you. So if you haven't done that already, I want you to write it down. And you might have lots of things that you want to forgive, you know, but I want you to make sure that you really simplify them and write it down like bullet points, like if you were, you know, being objective about it. You know, leave this story behind it. Write this story. You know, I want to forgive, you know, my family because they have, you know, lied to me, because they have abused me, because they haven't supported me when I need it, you know, emotionally. I want to forgive my son because, you know, they have, you know, done something to me that I never expected he was going to do, you know, and name that thing in particular. Write things down. So I'm going to give you another 30 seconds for you to write it down, so you can, you know what we're doing here. You know, we're here 5 days to forgive. This is the person or the situation or yourself you're forgiving, and those are the things that we're forgiving people, you know, or yourself about. You know, I think it's really interesting that we put so much effort, you know, at work and professionally and acquiring financial security and wealth, or whatever you want to call. And, you know, we plan things and we set goals, But when it comes to our personal life, we want things to happen like that. We don't want to take any time planning or going through it or dissecting everything and really think about it. We just want things to just happen. But the truth is, I've learned that we have to treat our personal life, our emotions, our physical life, our emotional, spiritual life in the same way as we treat, a job, and this is what we're doing. We're doing like a brainstorm session here. This is what we are doing. We're forgiving, this person or myself or a situation, and this is why I am here. Those are the bullet points. So don't lose the opportunity to do this with your life, because it's when we do that kind of work that life starts unfolding. And like I said, the universe, God, life, and everything starts unfolding in a way that you never thought it would, that you actually never thought it was going to be possible. So this is really proclaiming your desire and your willingness to forgive here. So now that you have written everything down, and I hope you have, I just want to tell you a little bit about my story around forgiveness. Some of you already know, part of my story. I'm 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗓𝗂𝗧. I was born in Brazil, actually. And when I was 21 years old, I left Brazil to go to Spain. I lived in Spain, I live in Belgium, in England, and I met my husband, and we went traveling through Central and South America, and we ended up in New Zealand when we had our 2 kids. And now I live in Brisbane, Australia. I have lived here for 4 years, or 4 years, sorry. And I have a lovely husband and 2 kids. So, going back a little bit on my story around forgiveness, just before we moved here for a very particular reason. My daughter, my second child, was very sick. I was in and out of hospitals. By the time she was 1.5, and she was getting really symptoms of asthma, but because she was very young, they didn't want to diagnose her with asthma. And by the time she hit 2 years old, they said, look, although we can't tell she has asthma, we need to get her on a preventer medication, which means she'll be on steroids for the rest of her life. Because as soon as she gets off the steroids, they don't work anymore. It needs to be something that you do every day. And I just couldn't accept that. I couldn't imagine my daughter being on steroids every single day. And I asked the daughter, what if, we knew that was triggered by the cold weather, by the, the humidity and the rain and all of that. And I said to the doctor, what if we went somewhere warm? And the doctor said, look, if you went to Brisbane, it will be hot enough to really clear everything and to cure her. So I went home, I stormed home, and I said to my husband, that is it. We are going, we're moving to Australia, whether you like it or not. I can't deal with this. I didn't want to be in hospitals anymore. I didn't want to be worried 24/7 about her, because that's what was happening with me. And I was getting incredibly stressed. So we moved here, and my daughter was cured. And in that year that we moved in here, I had transferred with my company in New Zealand to here. I started a new job. I needed to learn lots of things. Obviously, we were settling. My son was starting school. My daughter starting kindy. And I was really, really, stressed, and was, unsettling for all of us. And a year later, I got diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer. I was 38 years old. I looked like this. There was not a candidate for having cancer. I don't have any cancer in my family. It was a shock for me. It was a shock for the doctors. It was a shock for everyone. But I remember exactly that moment, how I felt, where everybody was when I got told I had cancer. The doctor who had performed my emergency surgery was right next to me, together with another doctor who was also present in my surgery, and my husband was on my right side. And the doctor came in and said, look, the surgery went really well, but have anybody told you what we found? And I said, no, they haven't. And they said, we have found a tumor. So I asked him, is there any chance this tumor is benign? And he said, I'm really sorry, but it isn't. It is probably cancer, and it will be stage 3, and you will need 12 sessions of chemotherapy. At that point in time, I was in so much pain. I was so weak because I hadn't eaten for 4 or 5 days, because my surgery was an emergency surgery, and I had been in hospital for days before they could do my surgery, I kind of felt a stillness inside me, and I felt a calmness that I had never felt in my life. And I reached out to God and I said, wow, that is full on. Like, that is, I know you want me to pay attention now, and I'm listening. What are you trying to tell me? And I could almost hear God's answer saying to me, you need to forgive. At that point, I looked up and I thought to myself, but how can I do that? I must admit that I didn't have in me at that point. I was about to just cry and scream and tell God that you're asking me to do the impossible. You know, I had had a turbulent relationship with my family for the past 12 years. And I knew that I needed to find peace with that. I knew that cancer showed up in my life because of that. But I had dealt with this issue by burying this feeling inside me, like really deep, by pretending that I was forgetting about it. I thought that by ignoring the issue, I could just keep going. I thought that the problem was going to go away by itself. You know, I thought I was going to get away in life with not dealing with the problem. I'm going to say this again. I thought that I was going to be able to get away with not dealing with the problem. But guess what? There I was, being diagnosed with stage 3 bowel cancer. And I knew I needed to deal with that problem if I wanted to heal myself. I hadn't gone through any of the changes that I have implemented. I knew nothing about health. I hadn't read anything about emotional health or anything. I just knew deep inside that my cancer was about that I needed to deal with that I couldn't bury this resentment, this anger inside me anymore. You know, when people ask me about my family, I would just pull out a standard answer response, and I would just say, oh yeah, this, that, and the other, and I would just straight go back to burying this feeling inside me. I got so good at it that I didn't even connect myself to that answer. It was almost as if I was a robot, you know, like it was an automatic pilot. I would just push play, I would say exactly the same, this one sentence about it, and I would just go back to completely ignoring that story and pushing that down and suppressing those emotions. Does that sound familiar? You know, are you in that situation where you've been trying to pretend that you can ignore that anger that you've been holding on? Are you trying to pretend that you can, you know, ignore and keep going in your life without dealing with this issue? Are you trying to pretend that this issue is not affecting you or your health? Are you trying to pretend that you are happy despite of? I'm only saying that because, you know, this is where I was. I was pretending all along. I knew that at that time of my diagnosis, I wasn't ready to even think about that. All I could do was to say to God, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? At the same time, I parked that thought and I started getting ready for what was ahead of me. I needed to go through 12 sessions of chemotherapy in a month's time. So I needed to recover from that surgery, and in a month's time, I needed to start my 12 sessions of chemotherapy. But I want to backtrack a little. 9 years before my diagnosis, I was traveling with my husband through Central and South America, and I went to see one of my beautiful friend's mom in Colombia. She's Colombian, she's not Brazilian, she knows nothing about my family, and we stayed overnight for a couple of days with her, and she asked me about my family. And she was just trying to help. You know, she's a mom herself. She's been through lots of things herself. She was just trying to help me. Why don't you just let that go? But when she asked me about my family and she kept asking about my family, I allowed that anger to come up, and I got so angry when I was telling her about my story and about all my motives for being angry, for my reasons for being angry. And I just got like, I was completely like, I'm full of anger and resentment. And when I was telling her, but you don't know what happened, and I just kept telling her and telling her and telling her. That night I spent the whole night vomiting in the bathroom. We had all eaten the same. We had all done the same. I knew deep down then, 9 years before my diagnosis, that I was physically sick because I allowed myself to get so angry that, my anger really poisoned my physical body. But what did I do? I just went straight back to suppressing. I'm not going to allow myself to feel like this anymore. They don't deserve me feeling like this. So I went back to suppressing my emotion. I went back to ignoring my issue. I went back to pretending that I was dealing with that. While I knew that anger was poisoning my body, the resentment was really poisoning my body. And I knew deep down that I just kept saying to myself that I just couldn't cope with it. I thought, if I would tell you this story, you would maybe think to yourself, is that what I am? Have I been holding on to this anger and this resentment and this, this feeling inside me for so long that I'm not courageous enough to let this come to surface, because I know that I'm going to have to go through that again. I'm going to have to go through those emotions again. And I don't know if I can cope with that. I don't know if I can do this. I know that sometimes, you might be in the situation that you can't even talk about it without feeling physically sick on your stomach. When you're starting to tell somebody, if somebody asks you, any questions around, this painful area, you can't even talk about it. You might be here because you have been pretending that, this issue, it's not an issue for you. You just, by ignoring them, you're just dealing with it. Is it all of that? Is it where you are now? Is this how you feel about this now? But the beautiful thing is, I know in my heart that if you have put your name down, if you are here, if you are listening to this, if you answer those questions at the beginning, if you said that I've had enough, I want to deal with this right now. The beautiful thing is that if you are here, I really truly believe that you can let this go. You can forgive. You can cope with dealing with that pain. You can cope with facing that pain again. Because if I did it, you can do it too. And like I said at the beginning, I had so many people direct messaging me that they did not press join the challenge because they were not brave enough. So if you are here, you are already a step ahead of that. Don't forget that. As I said to you, I spoke to somebody in person and I said, join the challenge. You've told me you need it. I didn't tell you, you told me. And they still didn't do it. So today, guys, the exercise we are going to do, we're going to dig out this pain, this anger, the resentment, the frustration, the sadness. We're going to allow ourselves in a safe environment to let these emotions to come out of our physical bodies. Our bodies hold on an enormous amount of information. Our body, they are so intelligent. They hold the memory of every single thing we go through life. This pain is lodged somewhere inside your body. And today we're going to go in and we're going to take that out and we're going to allow that to come out. We're going to connect to our body, so to our physical body, so we can do that. And we're going to do that while we are meditating. And after the meditation, we're going to do a breathing exercise. That it's a simple breathing exercise, and I'm going to show you now so you know what to do. So, which is called the breath of fire. It's the 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗡 breathing exercise, and it comes from the yoga philosophy, and it's a breathing practice that burns up all the toxins. It balances and strengthens the nervous systems, inducing peace, and it helps to flush out all the waste and toxins, which is going to be very much needed when we finish this exercise, because we're not going to be scared anymore of those toxins, of this waste. We're not going to be scared anymore of this anger, this resentment, this frustrations, this sadness. We are not going to be scared anymore of it. Today we're going to be facing this head on, and we're going to start the process, the transformation process of forgiveness. I'm a big believer that every sickness, it starts on our, energetic and our emotional body. By the time it gets to the physical level, it has already passed through all of those layers. Today we're going to take that out of our body, so we can feel in balance again, so we can start getting back to our a feeling of balance, to a feeling of wellness and well-being to ourselves, because forgiveness impacts our whole life. When you're holding on to something, before you know, it's impacting all your relationships, your job, what you do with your family, your friends, how you treat yourself, how you speak to yourself. So I believe that is really important. It's a really, really important part of healing. So let's just, I hope that you're in an environment where it's safe, and you don't have anybody that is going to disturb you. And let's sit down in a comfortable seated position. And I want you to, actually before we go, I'm just going to teach you the breathing exercise. So if you put your hand on your belly, and we're going to inhale through the nose. And then we're going to exhale through the nose as well. And we're going to use our tummy muscles to forcefully exhale through the nose as well. So we're going to feel that breath in our tummies only. So not so much in our chest, but in our tummy. So I'm just going to show you so you can have a look at it. So it's breathing in through the nose and exhale. Breathing in through the nose and exhale. And we're just going to do this kind of, 10 times after our meditation. This is a very powerful breathing exercise. There is some recommendations if you have high blood pressure, heart disease, hernia, gastric ulcers, if you have ever had a stroke, epilepsy, retinal problems, glaucoma, or vertigo, you should not perform this breathing exercise. But if you can perform this breathing exercise, I would love you to do this at the end of our meditation. So let's sit in a comfortable position and start taking some deep breaths through the nose and out of the mouth. Breathing through the nose and out of the mouth. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. And let's go back to our normal breath now, and let's just keep breathing and feeling our body relaxing, feeling our head getting relaxed. You can just Move your head as a yes and no from one side to another. You can maybe do some roll necks, just really feeling the tightness and the stress melting away from your whole body, your forehead, your jaws, your chest. Keep breathing through your abdomen, your hips, your legs, and your feet. Just tell yourself, I am safe. I am in a safe environment. And just keep breathing through those words. I am safe. It's okay to allow my emotions and my feelings to come up. I choose to forgive. And this is why I am here. Now I want you to think about the person you need to forgive. See this person in front of you. And if that's yourself, think about the version of you that you're wanting to forgive. Remember, this person is not here. We're just bringing up a memory. So we can do this exercise to liberate ourselves. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And remind yourself, I am safe. Just have this person right in front of you. And I want you now to look up and look into this person's eyes. Just keep breathing through. And keep focus on this present moment. If you're feeling anxious, keep breathing through. Keep focusing on your breath. Now I want you to go back to the bullet points that you wrote about. And I want you to tell this person why you are or you were hurt. Just breathe in and breathe out. Allow your emotions and your feelings to come out. You are safe here. You are doing this for your own good. You are doing this to release all the emotions and feelings that you've been holding on to. Tell this person why you were hurt. Tell this person how you felt. Keep breathing through this exercise. You are doing it. You are doing the work. You can do it. Tell this person the pain you felt and you still feel. Allow your body to express the anger, the sadness, the frustrations, the regret, the irritation, the helplessness, the hopelessness, the rage. the guilty, the disappointment. Remember, you are here because you're acknowledging, you're choosing to acknowledge what it has happened. You are no longer holding on to this emotion. You are letting that go. You are allowing yourself to experience this so you can let it go. You are not burying this emotion anymore. You are not pretending anymore. If you need to scream, scream. If you need to cry, cry. Keep breathing through it. If you need to punch a pillow, punch a pillow. If you need to curse, curse. But keep whatever you're saying to this person to the facts. Remember, we're talking about those bullet points. Those 5 things, 6 things, 10 things that you were angry about, they were hurt. We're going to stay focused on the pain, on this emotion, just for a few more seconds here. Remember, we're allowing ourselves to let this emotion out so we can heal ourselves, so we can feel better about it ourselves, so we can find balance within ourselves. We're allowing all the emotions that we've been trying to ignore to come up. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. This person is still in front of you, and you can still tell this person why you were angry, why you were hurt, why you're still holding on to this pain. Keep breathing through. Don't forget to breathe. The breath is allowing you to cope with this exercise. The breath is allowing you to let the emotions to come out. The breath is allowing you to help your body release those emotions. Now I want you to take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And I want you to tell your body, thank you for doing this incredible job. Tell your body, thank you for holding on to this emotion for such a long time. Tell your body you're safe and you are okay. Slowly we are going to start to come back to our environment. And we're going to notice how we feel. We're going to notice how different we feel. We're going to notice how different our bodies feel. Take another deep breath in and exhale. Now put one hand on your belly and we're going to do our breath of fire exercise. We're going to inhale through the nose and exhale forcefully through the mouth while we're taking our breath to our tummies. Inhale through the nose and exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Feeling the tummy, your tummy muscles contracting. And feeling the breath coming from your tummy. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. And exhale. Now the last three, we're going to do a little bit quicker. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly coming back to your normal breath. And I want you to bring your both hands to your heart, into prayer position. Bring your hands to the third eye. And namaste. How did you guys feel? If you want to give let me know a comment. I would love to know how you felt, how you feel in your body, how the exercise felt for you. Just let me know. I would love to hear feedback. If you're going to watch this later, write me a comment and let me know how you felt. How this whole exercise of really going through that pain again, how did that make you feel, and how your body feels right now, that you allow those emotions to come out, and that you allowed yourself to really say what you thought, what you've been thinking for a long time. And I want to finalize today, guys. We've already gone through almost 45 minutes. There has been a lot of research around forgiveness. I said on my post, I've been reading lots of research around forgiveness, and it's unbelievable all the amounts of research is out there. It talks about the benefits physically, the benefits emotionally on our health around forgiveness. Decreases the levels of anger and hostility. Increases feeling of love, and enhances our capacity of trusting other people. If we can't trust other people, it's hard to trust life and the universe and God. If it free ourselves from the past, improves our overall health. Forgiveness has shown to bring us peace to our minds. And forgiveness conserves energy. If you're spending so much energy being angry and holding on to this anger, you are actually spending energy on not forgiving, as opposed to spending energy in doing things that you want to do, and increasing your physical health, and in bettering your emotional health, in advancing your life, in personal development, because you are spending so much energy in holding on to the anger. Forgiveness is linked to health improvements like taking fewer medications, better sleep quality, and reducing somatic symptoms including back pain, fatigue, and nausea. Forgiveness eases the stress, because we're no longer recycling those angry thoughts over and over again, both consciously and unconsciously, that stresses us out over and over again too. I feel, guys, forgiveness is like a ripple effect. When you put a little finger in the water and you create a ring, that ring gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It affects every single part of your life. So the homework today, guys, is to write it down how you felt today. I really would love you guys to take part of this challenge, to write things down. How did you feel after doing this exercise? I would love to hear from you, so I can keep serving, so I can keep helping you. Notice how your body feels. Now that you have done the exercise, notice how you feel physically and emotionally as well. Write on the comments below. You can make a video if you wish. I would love to see a video of you. And tomorrow, guys, day 2, we're gonna be going through the person we have become as a result of holding on to this. It's holding on to this anger, this resentment, this pain. We're going to be talking about that. So I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for being